Hello, 6th grade. In this video, we're going to go over one-step equation solving with addition and subtraction. Here are the steps we must think about as we solve equations. Number 1, think. I must isolate the variable. That means get the variable by itself. Action. I need to do the inverse operation. That would be the opposite operation. And remember, in order to keep it balanced, you must do the inverse to both sides of the equation. Let's take a look at our first example. X plus 13 equals 42. We want to isolate our variable. Our variable is x. So we're going to focus right now on this side of our equation. We need to isolate the variable and do the inverse operation of a plus 13. That would be minus. The opposite of addition is subtraction. So therefore, I'm going to subtract 13 from this side of my equal sign, and what I do to one side, I have to do to the other, or else I'm not balanced anymore. So I'm going to subtract 13 from the other side of the equation. Our plus 13 and our minus 13 knock each other out and get to 0. So I have x left on this side of the equal sign, and 42 minus 13 on the other side. 42 minus 13 gives us 29. So the value of x is 29. Now I want to make sure that this is true. So I'm going to do a check. And I'm going to go back to my original equation, which is x plus 13 equals 42. We think the value of x is 29. So I'm going to put a 29 plus 13 and make sure that this statement is true. Does 29 plus 13 equal 42? 29 plus 13 simplifies to 42, and that side of the equation was 42, so I'm now and happy and balanced. Let's take a look at a similar example. 17 equals x plus 4. I need to first focus on the side that has the variable. So this is the side that has our variable, x plus 4. So my second step is to think the inverse. What is the inverse of plus 4? That's minus 4. So therefore now, I want to subtract 4 so I can get x by itself. I want to isolate it. But when I subtract 4 from one side, I'm no longer balanced. So I need to subtract 4 from the other side. 17 minus 4 is 13, and that equals x, because my plus 4 and my minus 4 knock each other out. I'm going to do my check from my original equation, which is 17 equals x. Now I'm going to substitute x with 13 plus 4, and yes, 17 equals 13 plus 4, so I know that my answer is true. Now let's look at a different kind of problem. We have y minus 4 equals 20. Again, I'm going to focus on the side where I have my variable, which is y minus 4. I must do the inverse operation. The inverse of a minus 4 is a plus 4. So in order to zero out my 4, I'm going to add 4 to this side. To make sure that it stays balanced, I need to add 4 to this side. Minus 4 plus 4 knocks out to 0. So I have y here, and 20 plus 4 is 24. I'm going to do my check. I'm going to substitute in my original equation. Instead of putting y, I'm going to put 24 minus 4, and I'm going to make sure that this statement is true, that it equals 20. And indeed, 24 minus 4 is 20, so our equation is balanced. Let's do one more of those. 39 equals r minus 10. Once again, I need to focus where my variable is, r minus 10. My inverse of minus 10 is plus 10. So therefore, I'm going to add 10 to this side, and I need to add 10 in order to keep it balanced. 39 plus 10 is 49. And our 10s cancel each other out on the right side of the equation, so I am left with r. Do my quick check. 39, which is my original equation, equals, instead of putting in r, I'm going to substitute the 49, which I think is my correct answer, and minus 10. So I have 39 here. 49 minus 10 simplifies to 39, and I have a happy answer. All problems we're going to deal with aren't always going to be whole numbers. This doesn't change our process. I have half plus x equals 3/4. So again, I'm going to identify and look where my variable is, and my variable's on the left-hand side. I have 1/2 plus x. I need the inverse operation, which would be minus. So therefore, I'm going to subtract 1/2 from this side of the equation, and I need to subtract 1/2 from this side of the equation. I am left with x here, and now I need to do 3/4 minus 1/2. So off to the side, I'm going to do these computations. 3/4 minus 1/2. I need to have common denominators, which is going to be a 4. So now I have 3/4 minus 2/4, which is going to be 1/4. So my value of x is 1/4. The process doesn't change. You're just now dealing with fractions. Same thing applies to decimals. Our steps don't change. Y minus 2.3 equals 5.2. I want to isolate my variable. In order to isolate my variable, I need to add 2.3 to both sides of my equation. A minus 2.3 plus 2.3 knocks each other out to 0. So I have y here, and then I add 5.2. My decimals are nice and lined up. So I just bring down my decimal, and y equals 7.5. So to recap, when we're solving equations, again, we must think. I must isolate the variable, take action, the inverse operation, and remember, in order to keep it balanced, you must do the inverse to both sides of the equation.